Hey guys, my name is Blake Montgomery. In this presentation, I will discuss the article Sequence, Text Structure Intervention during Interactive Book Reading of Expository Picture Books with Preschool Children with Language Impairment by Brith Smith and colleagues. This article examines how interactive reading of informational picture books can support language development in preschool children with language impairments. The main purpose of this study was to examine whether interactive reading of expository or informational picture books could improve the language and comprehension skills of preschool children with language impairments. One important concept is text structure, which refers to how information is organized. The researchers primarily focused on sequence text structure, where information is presented in a specific order using signal words such as first, next, then, and finally. This matters because early understanding of informational text can support later reading comprehension and academic learning. The study included 6 preschool children with language impairments. 2 early childhood special education teachers and 2 speech language pathologists worked with the children in small groups over an 8-week period. The children participated in interactive book reading 3 times each week using informational science books, primarily about plants and how they grow. This collaborative approach allowed the same language skills to be reinforced by both teachers and speech professionals. The intervention went beyond simply reading a book aloud. Practitioners first set a purpose for reading. During the reading, they asked questions, encouraged children to make inferences, expanded on children's responses, and helped them construct more complete answers. After reading, children used picture cards, graphic organizers, and dramatizations. For example, they might arrange pictures showing how a plant grows, explain the steps using sequence words, or determine which step was missing. These activities made abstract language more concrete and gave children repeated opportunities to practice. The results were promising. After the intervention, the children demonstrated statistically significant improvement in 3 major areas: understanding sequence signal words, learning academic vocabulary, and developing science topic language. The average total score increased from 25.83 before the intervention to 57.5 after. Practitioners also increased their use of language facilitation strategies. However, the study included only 6 children and did not have a control group, so the researchers could not prove that the intervention alone caused the gains. These findings should be viewed as promising preliminary evidence. For educators, my first recommendation is to intentionally include more informational and expository text. Teachers can explicitly emphasize signal words such as first, next, then, and finally, and ask students to retell a process using those words. My second recommendation is to extend learning beyond the book. Use graphic organizers, picture cards, hands-on activities, and dramatizations. A student who struggles to explain a sequence verbally may first arrange pictures in order and use those visual supports to explain each step. Educators should also scaffold responses and collaborate with speech pathologists so the language goals are reinforced across settings. For parents, my first recommendation is to make reading interactive rather than simply reading the words on the page. Parents can pause and ask questions. My second recommendation is to connect books to real-life experiences. After reading about plants, a parent and child could plant a seed together while saying, first we add soil, next we plant the seed, then we add water. The main takeaway from this article is that young children with language impairments can benefit from structured and interactive exposure to informational text. Reading becomes more powerful when adults ask questions, provide support, and teach vocabulary. Connecting information to hands-on experience is also important. Although this was a small study, it demonstrates the potential value of combining interactive book reading, sequence instruction, academic vocabulary, and activities. For both educators and parents, the goal should not be simply to read to children, but actively engage them in thinking, communicating, and making connections with what they are learning.